गणमङ्गलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Jai Hind. And may I request the console to play the Telangana song, please.
जय जय हे तेलंगाना जननी जय केतనం ముక్కోటి గొంతుకలు ఒక్కటైన చేతనం తరతరాల చరిత గల తల్లి నీ రాజనం పద పదాల నీ పిల్లలు ప్రణమిల్లిన శుభతరుణం జయ తెలంగాణ జయ జయ తెలంగాణ జయ తెలంగాణ జయ జయ తెలంగాణ జీవన జావళీలు జాలువార కవిదాయక వైతాళిక కళల మంజీరాలు జాతిని జాగృత పరచే గీతాల జనజాతర అనునిత్యము నీ గానం అమ్మ నీవే మా ప్రాణం జయ తెలంగాణ జయ జయ తెలంగాణ జయ తెలంగాణ జయ జయ తెలంగాణ
Now I request our MD and VC of Sports Authority Telangana, Soni Bala ma'am, to present welcoming bouquets. Can we have all the bouquets here? Firstly, the bouquet to be presented to Shri Jayesh Ranjan sir, the senior IAS officer. Hearty welcome, sir. Yeah. And Shri Pu Lal Hing Lowa sir. Hearty welcome, sir. Honorable Minister of State of Mizoram for Sports and Youth Services, and to Pullala Gopi Chand sir, the Padma Bhushan Padma Shri Arjuna Dronacharya Awardee Telangana, and Shri Bai Chung Bhutia sir, Padma Shri Awardee Football Sikkim. Mr. Indranil Das, the journalist from Assam. And now to Miss Saiko Mirabhai Chanu ma'am, Padma Shri Awardee, weightlifting, Manipur, world champion. Shri Pullala Gopi Chand sir, Padma Bhushan, Padma Shri Arjuna Dronacharya Awardee, Telangana. Lashram Sarita Devi, Arjuna Awardee, Boxing, Manipur. Thank you. Can we give a big round of applause for Soni Bala ma'am, Dr. Soni Bala ma'am, VC and MD of Sports Authority, Telangana. Thank you very much, ma'am, for putting all this together. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that the northeast of India is a powerhouse for sports in many fields and tracks. And Telangana similarly shares a rich legacy in many sports on the field and off the field. And it only makes sense for all these 8 states and Telangana to come together and forge a stronger link in promoting the sports of India. And in this panel, as you can see, we have the pillars who has shaped the sports in not only Telangana, but in the 8 states of the northeast of India. And hence, this panel is only going to help us all in terms of information in building a strongest infrastructure in the sports, not only in the 8 states of the northeast of India, but also Telangana. And now, may I take a moment in welcoming Sri Jayesh Ranjan sir, the Senior Indian Administrative Service Officer, All India topper of his cohort. His career reflects a blend of academic excellence, innovation, and global perspective. Over his 3 decades of services, he has played a transformative role in advancing Telangana's sports ecosystem, from developing infrastructure and promoting grassroots talent to shaping progressive sports and youth policies. His efforts have also been instrumental in driving industrial growth, fostering public-private partnership, and promoting digital empowerment across sectors. For his outstanding contribution to international collaboration, he was conferred the Royal Order of the Polar Star by His Majesty, the King of Sweden. A visionary, administrator, and mentor, he continues to inspire innovation, youth engagement, and inclusive developments across Telangana. May I welcome Sri Jayesh Ranjan Sir IAS to give us an overview of Telangana sports development with amongst your hearty applauses, please.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, dignitaries, and all the sports lovers, members of the sports ecosystem from different northeastern states and also from Telangana. First of all, on behalf of Telangana government, I convey my greetings to all of you. We are very grateful that you chose to spend time with us. As MC Sharmila pointed out, we always admire the sporting prowess of the Northeast. Some of the best sports persons in different disciplines, medal winners in different disciplines, actually come from Northeast. And many people, some of my IAS batchmates who have worked in the Northeast, they tell me that the sporting culture is amazing there. Right from young childhood, children are encouraged to play sports and games. There are lots of facilities at the community level itself. There are lots of indoor stadium, outdoor venues, and senior sports person take the responsibility for talent scouting, for mentoring, for coaching, and this pipeline continues. And the government also has progressive policies. Lots of sports persons are given employment within the government system itself. So this is something which we have always admired, and all the states in our country hope to emulate the strong fabric of the sporting culture in their respective states also. And I'm very happy that due to the efforts of His Excellency, the Governor of Telangana, who, as we all know, himself is from Tripura, this door has been opened, this window of opportunity has been created to understand which are the institutions, who are the people who have made all this happen in Telangana, in the Northeast, and see if they can support us also. So for the benefit of Honorable Minister and the dignitaries who are present here, I wish to mention that though Telangana as a state was constituted in 2014, the real focus on sports and the fact that Telangana can also become a important force to to reckon with when it comes to different kinds of sports. The consideration started only recently, about 6 months ago. We brought out our sports policy, and there are some very, very interesting features in our policy. We want to provide world-class coaching and training facilities to our sports persons. We want to identify them at a very, very young age. We want to use the schools as the hubs from which talent identification will happen. We also want people at large to participate in different kind of sports. There is a important arrangement made to take care of the sports persons whose needs for coaching and training and equipment can be higher than other regular sports persons, and so on and so forth. But one of the most important decisions which our government has taken as a part of the sports policy is to completely hand over the responsibility of sports administration to an autonomous board. Most of you would be familiar that both at the national level and at the state level, the government ministries, departments, agencies, they play a more important role, of course, along with sports federations. They play the major role in every aspect of sports. But possibly for the first time ever in our country, the responsibility of sports administration has been taken away from government departments, from government agencies, from federations, and has been given to an autonomous board. And I'm happy to share with you that the composition of the board is like this. The board has 14 members. 5 members represent the corporate world. We know that of late, particularly in the last 10 years, there is some very genuine corporate participation in sports without expecting anything in return. Typically, corporates participate in any activity with an eye on return, but many corporates are participating in sports not with an eye on any direct return. Of course, intangible benefit of branding, reputation, and so on and so forth. But we know that there are some companies who take interest in sports. So we have chosen 5 such corporates to be a part of our sports hub board. Similarly, we have taken 5 former sports persons whose track record as a player, as a coach, is known to everyone. They are the role models in our country, in our society. And they have again decided to give back to the world of sports. And I feel very proud to share that 2 of our sports hub board members, Mr. Bhutia and Mr. Gopichand, are here in the panel with us. There are 3 other sports persons along with them who are in the board. We have taken 2 people who have again a very strong track record of sports administration. Both of them are former civil servants, but we know that they have done a very kind of path-breaking work with lots of dedication and honesty. And the only representative of the government, that too largely to provide secretarial services and assistance in that board, is myself representing the government. So it's a very unique arrangement. Typically, governments don't relish letting go of power and authority. But here is one example in which, for the benefit of the sports, for the interest of the sports persons, the government has decided that let a more knowledgeable, more engaged body run sports in Telangana. So these are some of the reforms that we have carried out. And we do hope that as months and years go by, the strong legacy, MC Sharmila pointed out that Telangana has a strong legacy. But I know for sure that the potential is far more than what the legacy is. Legacy is, of course, very good and something we all feel proud about. In multiple sports, Hyderabad and Telangana have contributed to national champions, to international medal winners, etc., etc. But potential is far more, and it pains us when we see that, let us say, when Telangana team participates in national games or Khelo India games, we are not in the top 10. We are somewhere in the middle. So effort will be made very sincerely to push Telangana up the ladder. In fact, our Chief Minister has put a very ambitious goal before all of us. Many of us are aware that there is a likelihood of India hosting the Olympic Games in 2036. And if India becomes the host in 2036, just because it is the host country, it will be allowed to participate in every sport. every team sport, individual sport. As the host country, both in men and in women, Indian sports persons, Indian teams will participate. And our Chief Minister has given this goal to us that we should ensure that Telangana sports persons are present in every Indian team, regardless of the discipline. Of course, if they win medals, that is a bonus, that is an icing on the cake. But at least few Telangana sports persons, both men and women, should be there in every sport. Maybe India will be participating in about 30 sports which will be played in 2036 Olympics. So our people should be seen in every Indian team. And obviously, if people have to get into Indian team by 2036, the age group at which they are now will be maybe 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, 11 years. So at that young age, we should start investing in them, make them capable to join the Indian team. And of course, getting medals is a dream for every Indian, for every citizen of this country. But again, we are not pushing or pressurizing anyone to win medals. If that comes, that is great. But in a country of 1.4 billion people, if you are the chosen 10 or 15 or 20 to be in the Indian team, that itself is a matter of great glory. So there is a lot to look forward to how the Northeast organizes its sports programs, the sporting culture. And I'm very happy. I'm very grateful to my colleague, Managing Director of the Sports Authority of Telangana, Sonibala Devi Garu. She herself is from Manipur, as many of you would have noticed. And she has identified 6 institutions in the Northeast with whom we are announcing partnerships. Today in the valedictory session, 6 partnerships are going to be announced. But I request everyone who are here from the Northeast to look at how Telangana is serious about promoting sports, support our ambitions, and whatever you have built in Northeast, the real enjoyment will come to all of you if you see that getting replicated across the country, across the world, and let the beginning be made from our state of Hyderabad, our state of Telangana, our city of Hyderabad. So once again, greetings and warm welcome to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, sir. Can we all give a big round of applause for Jayesh Ranjan, sir, here? All right, since I've already introduced Jayesh, sir, who is one of the panelists of this panel, ladies and gentlemen, it's about to begin the panel discussion on spirit of the game, connecting Telangana and Northeast. Let me take a moment, let me take a little time from all of you in proudly introducing all other panelists along with the moderator as I take you through their bios. May I welcome Shri Pu Lalheng Lowahmar, Honorable Minister for the State of Mizoram for Sports and Youth Services, Tourism, Excise and Narcotics and Labor and Employment, Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. He, affectionately known as Tita Mar, currently serves as a Minister of the State under the government of Mizoram, a passionate advocate for youth empowerment and sports innovation. He played a pivotal role in facilitating the visit of German Football Club TSG 1899. Formerly the joint editor of Vanglani, Mizoram's leading daily, he has been a vocal supporter of skill development, women's livelihood initiatives, and inclusive education. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the visionary, the Honorable Minister of Mizoram. Hari, welcome, sir. And now may I proudly present to you the pillar, one of the most strongest strength of Hyderabad in the field of sports, Shri Pullela Gopichand sir, the Chief National Coach and Founder, Gopichand Academy, Padma Bhushan, Padma Shri, Arjuna and Dronacharya awardee from the state Telangana. He won the All England Open Badminton Championship in 2001, becoming only the second Indian to do so. He later founded the Gopichand Badminton Academy in Hyderabad, which has produced Olympic medalists such as Saina Nehwal and PV Sindhu. Ladies and gentlemen, he also continues to shape national sports strategy through coaching, leadership, policy engagement and institutional innovation in the athlete training. Can we all give a big round of applause? to our one more eminent panelist here. And next, may I proudly present to you Shri Baichung Bhutia, who is also known as the Sikkimese Sniper. He's an iconic former Indian professional footballer and one of the most celebrated athletes of Northeast. Legendary striker known as the Sikkimese Sniper, known for his precision and flair on the field. Baichung captained the Indian national football team and led it to numerous international victories, becoming a true torchbearer for Indian football. Beyond his playing career, Baichung has been deeply committed to nurturing the next generation of football talent through the Baichung Bhutia Football Schools, one of the India's leading grassroots and youth football development initiatives. As a mentor, leader, and advocate for the game, he continues to inspire young athletes across the nation. One more time, a big round of applause and hearty welcome to the state of Telangana. And now may I proudly one more time presenting to you Miss Saikom Mirabhai Chanu, the Olympic silver medalist, Padma Shri awardee, all the way from Manipur. Saikom Mirabhai Chanu is a celebrated Indian weightlifter who brought global glory to the nation with her historic silver medal in the year 2020 Tokyo Olympics. A receptionist of the Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna and Padma Shri, she has also secured top honors at the World Championships and Commonwealth Games, establishing herself as one of the India's most accomplished athletes. Hailing from Manipur, her exceptional strength, perseverance, and humility has inspired millions of especially young women in the Northeast. Her remarkable journey has elevated Indian weightlifting on the global stage and cemented her legacy as a true icon of sports excellence. Hearty welcome to Mirabhai Chanu one more time. And we have one more sports star from the state of Manipur. Put your hands together for Lashram Sarita Devi, international boxer. Arjuna awardee, Manipur. Hari welcome, ma'am. Lasharam Sarita Devi is one of the India's most accomplished boxers, celebrated for her fierce fighting spirit and exceptional international achievement. A national and former world champion in the lightweight category, she has won multiple medals across major tournaments, including a gold at the 2006 World Championships, silver at the 2014 Commonwealth Games, and bronze at the 2014 Asian Games. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Lasharam Sarita Devi. And with all the pride, one more time, I'd like to introduce to all of you Shri Mantu Debnath Ji, Arjuna awardee and retired chief coach from the state of Tripura. Mantu Debnath, an Arjuna awardee and one of the India's pioneering gymnasts, has made remarkable contributions both as a player and as a coach. A seven-time individual all-round national champion between the year 1969 and 1975. He has brought national recognition to Indian gymnasts with his stellar performances, including a gold medal in vaulting the 1969 Indo-USSR dual meet in Kazakhstan. Sir, hearty welcome to you for the state of Telangana. And now may I proudly present Mr. Indranil Das, the journalist, senior sports editor, and the New Indian Express, Assam. Indranil, a seasoned sports journalist and editor from Assam, has extensive experience covering national and international sports for the New Indian Express. Over a distinguished career spanning more than 3 decades, he has played a pivotal role in amplifying stories for the Northeast. Ladies and gentlemen, through his reporting, Indraneel has given national voice to athletes and coaches from Northeast, including Dinko Singh, Mary Kom, Sarita Devi, Kunjarani Devi, Deepa Karmakar, Shiva Thapa, Jayanta, and he has been advocate for the region sporting culture. He continues to enrich India's sports narrative through his integrity, insight, and athlete first storytelling, shaping both the coverage and the next generations of sports journalists. Hearty welcome to you, sir. And now, may I proudly introduce to all of you, Mr. Pradeep Panjobam, the senior journalist and sports commentator, Manipur. Mr. Pradeep Panjobam is a veteran journalist and author from Manipur, known for his sharp insights on sports governance and socio-political landscape of Northeast of India. He is currently the editor of the Impal Review of Arts and Politics. Ladies and gentlemen, alongside journalism, he has been deeply engaged in peace building. I repeat, peace building and development initiatives, serving as a peace and security analysis consultant for the Indo-German watershed regreening project in the Eastern Himalayas. He has delivered lectures and prestigious platforms such as National Defense College, the Nehru Memorial Museum and Library, and Radhika Mohan Bhagwati Memory Lecture, continuing to be the leading voice shaping the critical discourse of the Northeast. And with that, I have introduced to you all the eminent panelists of today who are here, strong pillars in the sports of both the 8 states of Northeast of India and Telangana. Ladies and gentlemen, I now present the whole panelists to the moderator, Mr. Pradeep Panjob. Over to you, sir. Can we all give a big round of applause before he starts off? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Let me just share my spontaneous feeling at this moment, that I feel like I am in the Milky Way, sitting among stars, so many stars, superstars, not just on the stage, but also I met many and saw many in the audience who are also stars in their own right. So I think we are dealing with sports today, and we had a discussion yesterday amongst journalists, and we were talking about how sports is a universal language. It doesn't have any particular, it's a regional language as such. Any kind of sports is understood everywhere. And partly because it's also a basic human instinct, sports. And if you go by the Freudian interpretation, it is actually a sublimation of another need, basic human need of aggression and violence. But instead of fighting on the battlefields, we fight on the play fields. And instead of killing each other, we score goals and score points, and that's how we win. And I think it is very much a message of peace. Sports itself is a message of goodwill. And I think it's very, very relevant that this festival should have sports as a foundation of building peace, cooperation, and also the spirit of understanding each other. Because sports is that. As I said, it's a universal language. We are happy when somebody achieves, regardless of community or country, nationality. When Usain Bolt breaks a record, we are happy. When Carl Lewis breaks a record, we are happy. When Baichung Bhutia does well, we are happy. When Pullalal Gopichan does great things, we are all happy together. We don't think of community or anything of that sort. It's just that it's a human achievement where we are seeking excellence. And there is one more thing I want to add here, that we do these great things, and then some of us, many of us in fact, want to actually immortalize that passion, immortalize that perseverance, that resilience. And I think that's what's happening with so many of our veteran sportspersons. I start with Gopichan again. He achieved, and then he wants to pass on. He wants to immortalize that achievement, not just as his own, but he wants to pass it on to the next generations after that. Baichung is doing the same thing. Sarita is doing the same thing. And Mr. Devnath is also doing the same thing. And my homage to them first and foremost, that you are doing great thing. And of course, we have people in the field who are still winning. and who are still keeping the fire burning. That fire is also necessary for us to actually keep this relevant. And Mirabai is very much doing that. She's still winning medals. And of course, we also have policymakers who are also very important, and they have to get the message well. And to give those message, we have people like Indranil giving us the message, making all things transparent so that people can participate in shaping the future, shaping a good future, and also eliminating what is bad. And that is the relevance of journalism, that you make things transparent, any kind of policy transparent, so that everybody can participate in shaping the future. And now let me come to the technical part of this thing. We would have liked to hear a series of lectures from each one of them, but we don't have the time. We have just 1 hour. And that 1 hour divided into 9 is about 6 minutes. So I would have to request the speakers to actually lay out the foundation, flag the points which we can absorb and also learn, as well as participate and in the discussion. And I will go by the list, not by any hierarchy, but by the list given to me, who will speak first and who will speak last. So I would like to request our minister from Mizoram, Mr. Samar, to give a brief sketch of what he thinks this festival is about, what the entire thing about sports is, and how Mizoram, his own state, is coming up in this endeavor.
Thank you so much. I was introduced as a policy maker, but I'm very much a sports enthusiast myself. I was more than a decade a secretary of the Mizoram Football Association, and I'm also the president of Mizoram Football Association as well as the executive member of the All India Football Federation. My background was mostly sports before entering politics. So what's happening in India is that so many ministers are into sports after becoming a minister. It's the other way around for me. It's because of my service to football and other sports in my country that I've been elevated to this position. So even though you call me as a policy maker, but I am very much a sports enthusiast. So I will speak briefly about the football success story and what we would love to achieve in the future. Of course, with the partnership of Telangana government, the Sports Authority of Telangana, the corporates present here in this state, as well as the expertise, of course, we already had with Mr. Gopichan, which I will speak very briefly. So what happened in football is that Mizoram was always a very good, footballing talent. But we never delivered at the national level. There were only fortunate ones who had the opportunity to train, for example, in the Tata Football Academy in Jamshedpur, who make it to the top, play alongside Baichung Bhutia and the other stars, play in Mohun Bagan and East Bengal. But there are equally good players back home who did not get those opportunities. So when I first became the secretary of Mizoram Football Association, we had a challenge. I took 3 challenges. One was coach education, the other one was refereeing education, and number 3 and the most important was to start a football league. We started what we call as the Mizoram Premier League 2012. My friend Baichung Bhutia was there to do the inauguration. So what happened after that is all success story. We won, to put it short, we won all the competitions in which we are a part of, be it I-Leagues and Toss Trophy, national games, etc., and all the age group tournaments. The only one missing is ISL because we don't have a franchisee. But having said that, that was football, but there are other sports in which we need to translate this. For example, according to the statistics provided to me by Reliance, last season, in the Mizoram is only a population of 0.09% of the Indian population, 0.09. But out of that, 12.5% of the ISL players last season were from Mizoram. And 16% of the I-League players last season were from Mizoram. But having said that, this is only one single sport. We need to translate it into the other sports. For example, with the help of Mr. Gopichan sitting with me, he started a badminton academy in Mizoram along with Tata Trust. You won't believe the kind of success story, the instant success story which we witnessed. 2 days back, we were the champions of the junior national former world champions boxers sitting here. Boxing is one sport. There are numerous sports which we want to be a part of. Special Chief Secretary was mentioning about India's bid for 2036 Olympics. Mizoram was the first state which held a national level sports conclave with a theme of 2036, the Vision 2036 Olympics. It was last June 2024. We hosted a national conclave in which we discussed about our ambition. So, following up, we have started what we call as Empowering Mizoram Sports. It's a very ambitious project. We want to touch each and every villages for talent identification program from 8 to 15 years. Why 8 to 15? Because we could have gone down, but we are aiming for that 2036 Olympics. The players counted at this age will be at their prime in 2036 Olympics. This is the longer vision, but the short-term vision, of course, is to get more medals like Telangana at the national level, in which we are still very backward, I should say. We love sports, but we need to do it correctly. What we can do it in football and other sports, we need to, translate it into the, other sports discipline. That is where Mizoram is still lacking behind. We need a strong partnership. That is one of the reasons why I'm here. Despite my busy schedule, I say that I have to be there in Telangana to discuss about sports and partnership with the government of Telangana and, of course, with the Telangana Sports Authority. Thank you so much for having me here.
I totally agree with you that sports is actually goodwill. That you spread sports relationship, you're actually spreading goodwill. And the kind of diplomacy that comes from sports is always positive. Let me, without further ado, go to the next speaker. I hope you will want to speak some more because I'm just going by the list. Then I will go next to... okay. So I will go to the next speaker, who will be Gopichan. Yeah, I think you can tell us about how your achievements, of course, everybody knows, but how you actually, as I was saying in the beginning, how you are immortalizing that spirit of sports, that you are great, but you want others to be great as well. The younger generation, you can't live forever, but you want your spirit to live on forever. So what is the strategy you're doing? Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. And I think it's a great panel to be on, a very distinguished panel, people whom I truly respect. For me, this connect has been my own connect with Mizoram and the Northeast. Post the 2016 Rio Games, we had the DM, the District Magistrate of Aizawl, actually message on Facebook to a friend, Shrikant, whom Jayasya knows. For a year, he was following up, and we made a trip to Aizawl almost in 2017, October, post almost a year after the Olympics. And then we saw that there were about 40 community centers which had one badminton court where people would play. It was in their natural gene to play. And for me, I think there's so much for us to learn from the Northeast, which we don't know. And I, going there, was so happy to see the sporting culture there. People come and play, whether you are the officer, the DM, or whether you are the minister, doesn't matter. You still bring a shuttle of your own, put it there, and then you play. All are equals on the sporting field is something which I truly learned from Mizoram. It was really fantastic to see that. Then the other thing is, then we started putting coaches in each of these centers, getting them trained. So I have made trips to Aizawl myself quite a few times. I had my team go to Aizawl. I had them coming here to the academy. And then we had the Tata Trust, we had NIDA, we had my sponsors now, Kotak. All of them actually chipping in resources for training. And most importantly, I think support from the government. And somebody who's as positive as the minister here, I think they've been fantastic to ensure that we made this connect. So for people who haven't been to the Northeast, I think it's important that you see the place and it's a culture. For me, huge respects to the place. Imagine a place where people don't honk, who go behind the cars and don't honk and wait patiently. Imagine a place where the dustbins are not there. Literally, people collect their garbage, keep it, and then put it away in when the next week the bus comes and they actually carry it. For me, this was amazing. I was like, wow, is this India? And truly, the other thing is women and respect for women. I think people would wear very short, very small shorts, and nobody is actually bothered about them. It is so good to see the dignity and respect which women get. Imagine a place where you have toilets which are unisex and nobody peeps. And that is kind of India I would really want to see. I think there's so much to learn from the Northeast for us in the mainland, and if that word is being used. Because I think what I've seen there is a phenomenal thing. I've have about 10 coaches and 12, 14 players now at the academy who've been there part of me and the academy for the longest period of time. And the biggest connect for me, as Sir was talking, is in the Nationals Team Championships, which is happening in Arunachal, which is a Northeast Connect. We had Telangana win the women's and Mizoram win the men's or the boys. So that's something which for me is truly phenomenal. I think huge potential, huge learnings. I just wish we know each other better, because in our diversity, there's a lot of good things we can learn. And I'm so happy that this connect is happening. I'm so happy that I have such stalwarts of sports persons from the Northeast, Baichung, Saritadi, and Mirabai here as phenomenal athletes who have contributed so much to Indian sport. And I've always been a huge fan. And it's great. I get goosebumps talking about it. But huge. I've known Baichung for a while, and the insights which he brings into sport are tremendous. And it's great that we have Soni Bala ma'am here heading the department. So thank you very much, ma'am. And it's a great place to be. And I think it's so good that our Honorable Governor has made this possible here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and big praise to you for your humility, despite your achievements. And next speaker I want to go to is Baichung. We were discussing yesterday in the journalist meeting that sometimes it is very important for pioneers to break the barriers, because you have psychological barriers. We can't do that. This is not for us. And then somebody comes forward and does it, and then the rest follows. And we were taking the example of Roger Bannister. In 1954, he broke the 4-minute mile. People thought 4 minutes was the barrier, that no humans can run a mile in 4 minutes. And he did it. Immediately after that, did that 2 months later, John Landy and so many others, and now it's 3.5 minutes only. So I think barrier breakers are very important. Pioneers are very important. How would you describe yourself as pioneer? What are the changes that I am not asking you to boast. I will say that for you. But you've done quite a bit for football in the Northeast, as well as the rest of the country. And I would like to hear it from you, the kind of challenges that you went through.
Good morning. Since we've got very less time, so I'm going to speak more on Baichung Bhutia football schools. BVFS, we started in 2010. It's been 15 years now. And I knew that by 2010, after Asia Cup was my last tournament, I would retire from then. And I had already planned that I would want to invest in grassroots football. And that's when we started Baichung Bhutia Football School in 2010. And this was the first football academy run by a footballer. Before that, we only had, I think, 1 or 2 football academies that were corporate academies like Tata Football Academy. In the last 15 years, I think Baichung Bhutia Football School has become one of the biggest grassroots football program in India today. We've got more than 8,000 kids training every day in different parts of the country. We've got more than 50, 60 centers across India with more than 100 plus coaches with us working, training the kids. In last 15 years, the number of players that have gone on to play for India is huge. I think in different age group, BVFS has given kids in different age groups to play. They have gone on and played for senior national team for India as well. And in the last 2 years, we were the first academy to start girls football residential academy. And our girls within 2 years, I think there are a few girls that's already playing for the Indian national team in different age group. And this has been done in last 15 years. And I would like to say that in the last 15 years, we've not taken a single rupee from the state government or the central government. This is completely on our own hard work, time and energy we put in from the entire BVFS family, coaches and people involved in the academy. So I think this is where we want to head through. We want BVFS to grow stronger and bigger. And that's where we've been putting our energy into it. Now, if you come into Indian football, yes, I think apart from playing, I've been involved with Indian football. If I have to say my own story in terms of Indian football, I think I've been lucky to have experienced everything in Indian football. I got a scholarship through Sports Authority of India in '86. And that was a government run. So I know how the system works as a student as well from an SI. I then went on to play for East Bengal, which was the biggest club during those days in '93. So I played professional football in Indian level. And then '95, I went on to play for India's senior national and went on to captain in '99 for over 11, 12 years. Apart from playing as well, I've also been working with All India Football Federation after my retirement as an advisor. I was 3 years as technical committee chairman there. And beside that, I also owned a football club called United Sikkim Football Club. And within 2 years, we went from one of the smallest club in the entire India to become the top 12 teams in India, where we qualified for the I-League. We didn't have ISL then. So I think the experience, what I've gone through, and luckily I played 3 years in England, 2 seasons in Malaysia, so I've seen world football, how it functions. I've seen Asian football in Malaysia very closely. So I think that experience is something which has really helped me to see what all setbacks, problems we have in India as well. So looking at now, the situation of Indian football in the last 3 years, I think has been, everybody's aware, it's not been so great. I think we've really come down from top 100 to 142 in ranking. And I think it's time that we need to really get in the right people, because as you are aware that 3 years ago, I fought an election for All India Football Federation president. And out of 35 states and union territories voting, I got only 1 vote and Kalyan Chobe got 34. And I did advise the government then. I kept saying that you guys are bringing the wrong people in to run the Football Federation. 3 years ago, I've been telling them. And look at what has happened 3 years down the line. If you have wrong people bringing in, and I advise the government as well, I think you're doing completely disaster for the Indian football. And they didn't listen to me. They went on, and today in 3 years, what has happened today, I think everybody's aware. I-League, we don't know when it's going to happen. ISL is in disarray. National team is on and off the field, is in in a mess. With the administration football, AIFF itself in a big mess. So I think good thing is, at least the people have realized now in the government and others who have really created this mess to start off with, I think they've realized that. So I think in future, it's very important that whether it's a state government or the central government, when they get, obviously politics is going to come in. But when they get into the politics, I think you should bring in the right people there, who's committed to the sport, who wants to take the sport forward. And now we've got another 7 months with this current administration in AIFF. After 7 months, I think Supreme Court has said that there is going to be an election. I think we need to have a right people. And I think in the last 75 years of independence, we've never had a president from Northeast. And Northeast is contributing in football in a huge and major way. I think it's time the next president of AIFF should be from the Northeast. And we have a great example in, Tete, who is a friend of mine. I know Tete for the last 15 years. I think he's shown what Mizoram football is transformed through administration. I think people like him should come, who's dedicated, who's got the knowledge, who's got the passion, and come and lead AIFF as a president in next generation. And I hope Telangana would support somebody from Northeast coming in. And I strongly feel people like him, who's got an experience of administration, who's got a passion for football, and who's changed Mizoram football so much. These are the kind of people we need to bring in. Just not because somebody is in your political party with no knowledge and just place him there. I think that's going to ruin all the sports in India. So I think it's time for football next election, after 75 years of independence, we need to have somebody from Northeast to really take the football forward as a president of All India Football Federation. And I feel there's no better person than Tete Amar, who is a minister in Mizoram as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Baichung. You've given a clear picture of what is happening, and also the need to actually keep the sports clean so that it becomes better, and also to bring in the right kind of expertise into the sporting field. And the next speaker I want to go to is Mirabai Chanu. And Mirabai, of course, is a current achiever. And we have heard her brief bio sketch. And I just want to mention one more, that she distinguishes herself for something else, which is quite, when she first won medal, I think in Tokyo, she was standing by her coach quietly, and there was a face-splitting kind of a smile on her face. That was actually flooring. Now, I just want Mirabai to go into the struggles she has gone through and the barriers she had to overcome before becoming a world champion.
Thank you so much. सबसे पहले तो मैं सबका हो सकते है मैं हिंदी में ही बात करना चाहती हूँ. एक्चुअली मेरा दिन का जो आवाज़ है ना वो इंग्लिश में बोलेंगे तो होगा ही नहीं. तो सबको माफ़ कीजिएगा. सबसे पहले तो नमस्ते एंड खुरुमजरी. बहुत अच्छा लगा आज इधर आके. मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा खुश हुआ है कि नॉर्थ ईस्ट का सभी इधर आए हैं. तो अपना अपना जो क्या चल रही है लाइफ में, कहाँ तक जाना है, क्या करना है, क्या कैसे इम्प्रूव करना है, वो सब बात शेयर करने के लिए सर थैंक यू. और सुनीला मैम को मैं धन्यवाद कहना चाहती हूँ कि एक्चुअली मैं नहीं आने वाली थी. एक्चुअली मैं ट्रेनिंग में ज़्यादा बिजी थी. एक्चुअली मेरा सामने एशियन चैम्पियनशिप होने वाला है इंडिया में ही, तो इसी के लिए मैं पूरा फुल टीम का तैयारी चल रहे थे, तो इसीलिए मैं थोड़ा सा बिजी थी. पर मैम ने मुझे बोला था कि एक बार आना है ज़रूर, पर मुझे भी लगा ज़रूर जाना चाहिए. तो बस यही था कि मैं एक एज अ वुमेन्स एथलीट, फीमेल एथलीट की होने के नाते मैं कुछ शेयर करना चाहती हूँ कि सिर्फ सभी फीमेल एथलीट्स की ही नहीं, ये मेरे साथ ही हुआ है. तो वो सब मैं आप सबको शेयर करना चाहूँगी. क्योंकि जब मैं स्पोर्ट्स में कदम रखा था तब से अभी तक का जर्नी में काफ़ी प्रॉब्लम्स मिले हैं. क्योंकि मैं गांव से बिलोंग करती हूँ, तो जाने का अभी भी ऐसा लगता है कि हर कई जगह में तो ज़रूर लड़की लोग को स्पोर्ट्स में डालना नहीं चाहती, भेजना नहीं चाहती. क्योंकि ऐसा लगता है कि लड़की को घर पे ही रहना है, घर पे ही रखना है, खाना बनाना है. वो ऐसा थॉट्स होते हैं हर पेरेंट्स के साथ. पर वो सब हमने अभी चेंज करना है, और चेंज हम खुद करना है. क्योंकि हमको पता है कि हम क्या करना है, क्या कर सकते हैं इंडिया के लिए. तो ऐसा था, मैं बहुत ही ज़्यादा लकी हूँ. मेरा फैमिली स्पोर्ट्स में बहुत ही ज़्यादा पसंद है. मेरा मॉम डैड भी फुटबॉल प्लेयर है, और मेरा 2 भाई है वो भी फुटबॉल प्लेयर है. तो फुटबॉल प्लेयर के बीच में वेट लिफ्टर कैसे आ गया पता नहीं. पर ये सब मेरा मम्मी की वजह से मैं यहाँ तक पहुँची हूँ. आप सबके सामने मैं खड़े होकर बात कर सकती हूँ. तो मेरा मम्मी बहुत ही ज़्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग है. क्योंकि जो मेरा 2 भाई की सपना और मम्मी पापा की जो सपने थे, वो उनको मेरे ऊपर देखना चाहते थे. पर मैं मना किया था कि मुझे स्पोर्ट्स में नहीं जाने. पर मेरा मम्मी ने मुझे पुश किया था कि आप स्पोर्ट्स में ज़रूर जाना है. और एक दिन में मुझे ऐसा लगा था कि हाँ, मुझे स्पोर्ट्स जो मम्मी कह रही है तो मैं कुछ करना चाहिए मम्मी के लिए या फैमिली के लिए. तो मैं गई वेट लिफ्टिंग. आप सबको पता होगा मणिपुर में कुंजुरानी मैम और अनीता मैडम का हिस्ट्री. क्योंकि कुंजुरानी मैम का इतना सारी मेडल्स होते हैं और कैसे स्ट्रगल करके उन्होंने यहाँ तक पहुँची है. तो उनका हिस्ट्री, और अनीता मैडम है जो मेरा कोच है मणिपुर में, उनका कहानी सुन के मुझे ऐसा लगा था हाँ, मैं भी मैम जैसा बनना है, मणिपुर के लिए कुछ करना है और इंडिया को रिप्रेजेंट करना है मुझे. ऐसा था मुझे. पर मैं 2008 से मैंने शुरू किया था स्पोर्ट्स. इसके बाद मैं 2012 से नेशनल कैंप में हूँ पटियाला में। तो काफ़ी अच्छा रहा मेरा जर्नी सब कुछ, पर सबसे पहला मेरा रियो ओलंपिक में से ही मेरा जर्नी का शुरू हुई प्रॉब्लम। कि रियो ओलंपिक में मेरा सबसे पहला ओलंपिक थे। उसी समय मुझे पता नहीं था कि मैं स्टेज में क्या करने जा रही है, क्या करूँगी, पूरा ब्लाइंड हो गया था। तो मुझे लगा क्यों हो रहा है मेरे साथ, क्योंकि उसी टाइम में एक लड़की की प्रॉब्लम होते हैं। मैं डायरेक्टली बात करना चाहूँगी, हमारी मंस का जो साइकिल होते हैं, पीरियड्स जो होते हैं, वो हमको बहुत ज़्यादा दिक्कत देते हैं एक फीमेल प्लेयर्स को, क्योंकि उसी टाइम में ये सब हुआ था और मुझे पता भी नहीं था कि मैं क्या करने जा रही हूँ। बॉडी काम ही नहीं कर रहा था, मुझे क्या कर रही है मुझे जाके। मुझे सर बोलते हैं कि मुझे मेडल लेना है, इंडिया के लिए मेडल चाहिए, पर इतना प्रेशर आते हैं ना, मत पूछो मत, क्या करना है वो कुछ पता भी नहीं चलती थी। पर मैंने बहुत हिम्मत किया, क्योंकि ये सब हमारे साथ होते हैं। तो यही कहने का मतलब है, इधर फीमेल प्लेयर्स शायद होंगी बहुत ज़्यादा, मैंने दिख रहे हैं। तो आप सबको मैं सिर्फ यही कहना चाहूँगी कि हमारी लाइफ में बहुत कुछ आते हैं। खास फीमेल प्लेयर्स में बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम मिलते हैं। ट्रेनिंग के टाइम में जब आते हैं तो हमारी बॉडी काम नहीं करती, माइंड को पूरा डाउन चले जाते हैं, ट्रेनिंग खराब होते हैं। जब कंपटीशन पास में आते हैं तो हमको प्रेशर होने लगते हैं कि बॉडी काम नहीं कर रहे तो क्या करूँ, बहुत सारी प्रेशर आते हैं। तो उस सब को खुद मेंटेन करना है, खुद को समझाना है कि मैं कर सकती हूँ, ये हमारी लाइफ में होते रहते हैं। तो ऐसे ही पेरिस ओलंपिक में भी हुआ था, और इससे पहले टोक्यो ओलंपिक में मेरा सेकेंड डे थे। सर इससे पहले 5 डेज पहले सर को बहुत ज़्यादा टेंशन हो था। मेरा कोच है विजय शर्मा, अभी मेरे साथ है, वो बहुत ज़्यादा टेंशन में आ गया था, क्योंकि हम हर चीज़ बात हम सर से शेयर करते रहते हैं कि हमको क्या करना है क्या नहीं। ये सब ऐसा पीरियड्स के टाइम में होते तो हमको क्या क्या और चेंज करना है, ट्रेनिंग सिस्टम में कैसा इम्प्रूव करना है, वो सब। तो मैं सर को बताया, सर ज़रूर मेरा टाइम होने वाला है कि मैं ओलंपिक में ज़रूर होगा। कि सर को टेंशन में आ गए कि क्या करूँगी, इस बार भी फिर हुआ तो मैं क्या करूँ। तो हमने बहुत सारी न्यूट्रिशन या साइकोलॉजिस्ट या डॉक्टर में हमने बताया कि क्या क्या कर सकते हैं, पर उसी टाइम में हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते। सर को मैंने समझाया, सर उसी टाइम में हम कुछ नहीं कर सकती, आप मुझे विश्वास करो। ट्रस्ट होना बहुत ही ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है एक कोच और प्लेयर्स के बीच में। तो वो ट्रस्ट सर ने मेरे ऊपर किया था। मैं बोले सर आप टेंशन मत ले लो, मैं करूँगी, जो मैं कर सकती हूँ मैं करके दिखाऊंगी। तो बस सर दोनों की ट्रस्ट और इतना भरत बरसी ने हमारे लिए प्रे किया था, मेरे लिए प्रे किया था, वो मैंने करके दिखाया। पहला दिन ही टोक्यो ओलंपिक में सिल्वर मेडल लेके। तो बस यही कहना चाहती हूँ, फीमेल प्लेयर्स आप सबको बहुत ही ज़्यादा मेहनत करना है, और हर चीज़ में प्रॉब्लम आएगी, उन सबको माइंड स्ट्रॉन्ग रख के आपको ट्रेनिंग करना है। ये हमारे साथ होते रहते हैं। तो बस यही आपके आसपास में जो भी आपकी डॉक्टर है या फिर कोच है, उनसे अच्छे से बात करके ये सब आपको मेंटेन करके रखना है, कि जब भी ये सब होते हैं तो आपको माइंड स्ट्रॉन्ग रखना बहुत ही ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है। थैंक यू सर।
Thank you. Yeah, right. You are a living example of why humans cannot be defeated, that regardless of barriers, regardless of difficulties, we can overcome, provided you have the determination and the perseverance. And you are a living example of that. Keep raising the bar so that the field of sports improves, field of human aspiration improves, not just sports. I think it goes beyond sports, that human aspiration cannot be stopped by anybody, provided you believe in yourself. And I say keep it up. The next speaker I want to go to is Laishram Sarita, who is also a fighter without a pause. She's fought many, many battles, and she's won many, many of them. And defeat never actually discourages her to fight, to take that battle to the next step. And she's here, and she's also one of those who decides very large-heartedly to pass on her legacy to the younger generation. She also has an academy who aimed at grooming the younger generation to live up to the standard that she has achieved, and also to go further than even what she has achieved. Please say a few things about your struggle and your achievements.
सबसे पहले तो हेलो वो ना सबसे पहले तो सभी को जितने भी पैनलिस्ट हैं अलग अलग डिसिप्लिन में, कोई मिनिस्टर है, कोई अलग अलग सर गोपीचंद सर है, तो थैंक यू सो मच सर। आज इस बड़े मौके में आप लोग के साथ बैठ के बात करने का मौका मिला, ये मैडम सोनीवाला का ब्लेसिंग है। थैंक यू सो मच मैम मुझे इनवाइट करने के लिए यहाँ पे। मेरा स्ट्रगल तो एक टोटली डिफरेंस है, अलग स्ट्रगल है। मैं एक छोटे से गांव से है, वो इम्फाल से 25 किलोमीटर जाके थौबाल डिस्ट्रिक्ट से पैदल 3 किलोमीटर जाके हिल के पास में एक छोटा सा गांव है, वहीं से मैं पैदा हुआ हूँ। तो बचपन में मुझे मेरा दिल में मुझे कुछ बनना है, लेकिन क्या बनना है मुझे मालूम नहीं है, कहाँ जाना है मुझे मालूम नहीं है। जब मैं 13 इयर्स था तो मेरा पापा गुजर गए थे। हम लोग 8 भाई बहन हैं, मैं 6 नंबर पे है। तो उस टाइम में मैंने मम्मी का बुरा हाल देखा। मम्मी हम लोग पापा गुजरने के बाद 8 भाई बहन को कैसे संभालेगा, वो मम्मी का दुख मैंने देखा है। तो हर दिल मम्मी के साथ में रहते थे। तो मैं कुछ बनना चाहती हूँ, लेकिन क्या है मुझे पता नहीं, कैसे मिलेगा कैसे बनेगा वो मालूम नहीं है मुझे। लेकिन मैं मम्मी के हेल्प करना चाहती हूँ। जब भी मैं घर से बाहर जाती हूँ छोटे से, तो मम्मी के लिए कुछ न कुछ उसको ला के मैं देते थे। तो ऐसे ही मेरे लाइफ में चलते थे। तो धीरे धीरे मेरा ब्रदर है, मेरा बड़े ब्रदर, उसने मुझे ताइक्वांडो खेलने के लिए लेके गया। फिर ताइक्वांडो खेला तो मुझे भी इतना मज़ा नहीं आया। मेरा जो दिल में जो चल रहा है वो फुलफिल नहीं हो पाया। फिर कुंफू में शिफ्ट किया। फिर कुंफू करने के बाद भी मुझे फुलफिल नहीं हुआ। फिर एक दिन हमारा कुंफू का कोच साहब है, वो उसने बोला, सरिता बॉक्सिंग, लड़की का बॉक्सिंग शुरू हो रहा है, वुमेन बॉक्सिंग, आपको खेलना है क्या? तो बोला सर चलो देखते हैं। तो फर्स्ट टाइम मैंने साई मणिपुर इम्फाल साई में साई बोम सा ट्रेनिंग कर रहे थे, बच्चे लोग बहुत सारे लड़के लोग ट्रेनिंग कर रहे थे। फर्स्ट टाइम मैंने बॉक्सिंग देखा है। उस टाइम में 2 लड़के फाइट कर रहे थे। एक तो ब्लू कलर का हेड गियर पहना हुआ है, एक तो रेड कलर का हेड गियर पहना हुआ था। तो उस दौरान मैंने देखा उसका पसीना जो है ना, रेड कलर का जो पसीना है वो मिक्स होके लाल लाल आ रहे थे। तो उस टाइम में मैंने सोचा, अरे नहीं सर, ये तो देखो बॉक्सिंग में तो पसीना भी रेड कलर का, फुल कलर का आता है, मैं नहीं खेलना। तो फिर वापस आया, सर ने कुछ नहीं बोला उस टाइम में। चुपचाप हम लोग पैदल आया, थौबाल डिस्ट्रिक्ट बस स्टैंड तक हम पैदल आया। फिर 1 हफ्ते के बाद मुझे सोचा, हाँ मुझे कुंफू तो मैं ताइक्वांडो खेलता है, बहुत अच्छा किक मारना आता है मेरे को, लेकिन हाथ नहीं चल रहा है, उसको सीखना है। तो फिर गया। बॉक्सिंग जाने के बाद जो मेरा दुख दर्द है, जो मेरा मम्मी का दुख देखा है, पापा सोते में गुजर गया है, उसका सारी परेशानी जो है बॉक्सिंग खेलने के बाद मेरे से आउट हो गया। धीरे धीरे जो दुख है दर्द है सब निकल चुके थे। तो उस टाइम तक मुझे पता नहीं, पहला इंडियन वुमेन हूँ मैं, बॉक्सिंग जो शुरू किया है। 99 में नेशनल गेम जो हुआ है मणिपुर में, उसमें हम लोग पहला लड़की था, 100 बाउट किया था, लड़की को बॉक्सिंग खेल सकता है करके। वो उसमें एक मैं भी हूँ। तो एक मेरा दोस्त है, तो वो लोग तो जल्दी छोड़ दिया, खेला नहीं। तो फिर धीरे धीरे ऐसे करके आया। तो फिर नेशनल चैम्पियनशिप क्या होता है मालूम नहीं। फिर नेशनल चैम्पियनशिप, पहला नेशनल चैम्पियनशिप चेन्नई में हुआ। उस टाइम में मैं गोल्ड जीता। उसके बाद भी मुझे मालूम नहीं है इतना हम आगे जा सकता है। फिर 2007 ईयर्स में मुझे पहली बार इंटरनेशनल खेलने के लिए मौका मिला। इंडिया टीम रिप्रेजेंट करने के लिए एशियन चैम्पियनशिप खेलने के लिए बैंकॉक में मैं चले गए थे। तो मुझे इतना नॉलेज नहीं, कहाँ से मैं निकल के आया। अभी मैं इंटरनेशनल इंडिया रिप्रेजेंट करने जा रही हूँ। पहली बार इंडिया ट्रैक सूट पहना तो एक अलग सा फील हो रहा था, मेरा अलग सा अच्छा लग रहा था, बहुत कुछ अजीब सा महसूस हो रहे थे। तो फिर धीरे मैं बैंकॉक एयरपोर्ट पहुंचा फ्लाइट में। मैं ड्रीम लग रहा था, मेरा सपना लग रहा था। तो पहली बार बैंकॉक एयरपोर्ट पहुंचने के बाद मेरा हाथ जो है मैं नीचे में टच किया, हाँ ये ड्रीम नहीं है, मैं यहाँ बैंकॉक एयरपोर्ट पहुंच गया, मैं थाईलैंड आ चुकी है। तो फिर कंपटीशन खेला और फाइनल में मैं चाइना के साथ हार गया। मैं सिल्वर जीते थे, लेकिन मुझे पता नहीं था जब खिलाड़ी इंटरनेशनल लेवल में मेडल मिलता है तो नेशनल फ्लैग हाई होता है और नेशनल एंथम होता है और सारे लोग अपना अपना कंट्री का जो चैंपियन बना है उसका एंथम में रेस्पेक्ट देता है, वो मालूम नहीं था, पहले बार मैंने देखा है। तो उसके बाद मैं पौधे में खड़े थे, मेडल ले रहे थे। तो उस टाइम में फर्स्ट चाइना था, सेकेंड इंडिया था, थर्ड थाईलैंड, मंगोलिया ऐसे था। तो मैंने उस टाइम में महसूस किया हाँ मुझे भी एक दिन अपना नेशनल फ्लैग हाई करना है, नेशनल एंथम मुझे भी ऐसे करना है। तो फिर नेक्स्ट ईयर में मैंने चैंपियन बना और नेशनल फ्लैग हाई हुआ। तो उससे ना एक मकसद मिल गया, मेरा जो अंदर में जो चल रहा है, हाँ मुझे अपने देश के लिए कुछ करना है, वही तो चाहिए था मेरे के अंदर में। जो जितना दिन से सोते से मेरे अंदर जो चल रहे हैं वो मुझे वही करना है। तो धीरे धीरे मैंने कंटिन्यूसली एशिया का चैंपियन और डिफरेंट 5 वेट कैटेगरी में चैंपियन बना, फिर वर्ल्ड चैंपियन बना और वर्ल्ड पुलिस फायर गेम चैंपियन बना। सब चीज़ें खेलने का एक ही मुझे कमी रह गया। ऐसा गेम मिला, कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स हर कंपटीशन मैंने जीत चुके हैं, मेडल ले चुके, एक ही कमी रह गया, ओलंपिक का गोल। तो मैं बहुत मेहनत किया, बहुत सारे दिक्कत आया, बीच में मुझे मौका नहीं मिला। 2000 जो फास्ट इंक्लूड हुआ था ओलंपिक, उसमें मेरा गोल लेने का उम्मीद था, पूरा तैयारी भी था, लेकिन कुछ वजह से मुझे नहीं मिला खेलने के लिए। ऐसे करके धीरे धीरे मेरे लाइफ में बहुत सारे रुकावट आ गया था गेम के दौरान। बहुत सारे पॉलिटिक्स हो रहे थे, लेकिन मैं एकदम गांव से निकला, सिंपल है, किसी को क्या बोलूं मैं, वो कुछ ऐसे समझ भी नहीं आ रहे थे। तो धीरे धीरे करके आया मैं। फिर 2019 आया, कोविड आया। तो कोविड आने के बाद मैं इंडिया कैंप से छोड़ के आ गया, क्योंकि मेरा एक छोटा सा बेटा है, तो उसको मेरा मम्मी देख रहे हैं और मम्मी भी बहुत उम्र हो चुकी है, मेरा जो सास है। तो पूरा इंडिया कोविड के लिए बहुत परेशान था। तो उस टाइम में घर पे बैठे थे। फिर उससे पहले मैंने थोड़ा थोड़ा एकेडमी का भी शुरू हो गया था, बच्चे लोग को घर पे सिखाना। तो कोविड में देखा तो फिर बच्चे लोग को फिर उस टाइम में मैंने फ्री रहने से तो अच्छा है, बच्चे को ट्रेनिंग करते हैं करके मैंने धीरे धीरे मेरा आंगन में शुरू किया बॉक्सिंग एकेडमी। फिर बहुत सारे बच्चे आ चुके थे और मैं कम्युनिटी में, फिर हमारा कम्युनिटी के एरिया में मैंने उसमें वहाँ पे शुरू किया। फिर बच्चे जो है बहुत अच्छा इम्प्रूवमेंट आया और नेशनल खेलने लगे, नेशनल मेडल्स पे। तो मेरे पास कुछ भी इक्विपमेंट नहीं था, कुछ भी नहीं। तो कैसे करके मैंने ये तो नहीं हो सकते, हाईएस्ट लेवल हमको खिलाड़ी बनाना है, तो मैं ऐसे नहीं कर सकती। तो फिर धीरे धीरे मैं एक कम्युनिटी हॉल, एक कॉलेज का हॉल रेंट में लिया, उसमें शिफ्ट किया। उसके बाद मैंने कैसे कैसे करके मेरा जितने भी मेरा वर्ल्ड चैंपियन और एशियन चैंपियन में जितने भी इंसेंटिव मिला है, उसको लगा के मैंने अपना ले लिया, एकेडमी जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है डेवलप करने के बाद मेरा ही एक ही मकसद रह गया, जो मेरा ओलंपिक का गोल ड्रीम है मैं पूरा नहीं कर पाया है, वो मैं देखना चाहता हूँ। मैं अपना एकेडमी से एक दिन ओलंपिक गोल्ड प्रोड्यूस करना चाहती हूँ। तो वही चल रहा है अभी सब चीज़ें। अभी मेरा एकेडमी में 103 बच्चे हैं, तो उसमें मैंने मेरा लाइफ 20 इयर्स कैरियर मैंने इंडिया रिप्रेजेंट किया है, उसमें जितने भी एक्सपीरियंस मैंने लिया है उसको अभी मैं ग्रुप वाइज में कर रही हूँ। एक बच्चे जो है ग्रास रूट 10 साल का एक ग्रुप है, 9 to 10 इयर्स का एक ग्रुप है, 11 to 12 का एक ग्रुप है, 13 to 14 एक ग्रुप है। वहीं से अभी बच्चे बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं। अभी रिसेंटली जादूमणि जो है सिल्वर मेडल मिला है, वो मेरा एकेडमी से शुरू किया था, आर्मी पुणे में चले गए थे। और यूथ लेवल का वर्ल्ड चैम्पियन मेडलिस्ट है हमारे पास, लेकिन अभी तक कोई सपोर्ट नहीं है। मैं मणिपुर पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट में एसपी स्पोर्ट्स हूँ। वहीं से मेरा सैलरी जो मंथली सैलरी आता है वो बच्चे को खिलाती हूँ। और अलग अलग गांव से मैं खुद जाके रिक्रूट करके आया। और कुछ बच्चे तो ऐसे हैं बहुत गरीब है, कुछ बच्चे ऐसे हैं बहुत टैलेंट तो है, उसको माँ नहीं है, कोई बाप नहीं है, तो वो सब मैं देख रही हूँ। अभी रिसेंटली एक जो मणिपुर में जो इशू हुआ था प्रॉब्लम, उससे भी काफ़ी बच्चे मेरा साथ है। तो विदिन 6-7 मंथ्स में ये लोग चैम्पियन बना है नेशनल मेडल। तो वही अभी चल रहा है। और मेरा एक ही मकसद रह गया है अभी ओलंपिक को, ड्रीम जो है ओलंपिक गोल्ड लेने का, वो पूरा करना है एकेडमी में। थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you very much, Sarita. You are an example of things which could have gone wrong, but did not go wrong because of your commitment. And I congratulate you and keep up the good work. And the next speaker I want to go, Indranil is actually listed twice here. So I would request you to come last so that you can be the anchor. And I think we journalists are meant to be the anchors. So I will go next to Mr. Devnath. And of course, Tripura has become one of the powerhouses of gymnastics. And I'm quite sure you as a pioneer is responsible to a great extent for this. And we saw younger gymnasts, Karmakar, for instance, doing that Simeon Bile maneuver, which was supposed to be dangerous. Did you encourage her to do it, or was it her own decision? And man, I'm just joking, but I just want you to give us a picture of your journey into where you are now. And I'm saying.
First of all, I would say, sir, I'm really grateful and thankful to the organizers, especially.
Just a second, sir. I can offer you my.
I'm really grateful and thankful to the organizers, especially, for giving me this opportunity to join this festival. And so far I came to know that it has a bigger meaning as far as sports promotion is concerned.
I'll hold the mic for you. I'll hold the mic for you. You can talk. I'll hold it.
The initiative what they have taken as a festival and from the Raj Bhavan and collaboration with the state government. And this is so far my experience for the last 55 years, the way the Telangana Raj Bhavan take an initiative for this, not only sports, no doubt, different other faculties are there, but different faculties, they used to conduct such type of festival or this agreement type. But in sports, it is, I think, so far my experience, this is the first time the governor and the governments are involved, and that means with the other region involving my northeastern region, which are not that much financially strong. So that is something big positive side for the promotion, especially for the sports. The government at such a high level, authorities are involved for the just promotion purpose. It would be a platform for the future promotion. And for my gymnastics, actually, it is so highly, not only highly technical, highly expensive also, and to start the gymnastics, it needs a big amount for its equipments. In gymnastics, we have 6 events, competitive events, and competitive event is not sufficient until unless we provide the training aid equipments, conditioning equipments. These are all required for the development. And other side, to start the gymnastics from the grassroots level, other games can start directly, skill can also teach, but in gymnastics, we have to start from the early age, 6, 7 years, and then first we go for general development. Thereby, actually, gymnastics needs big help from the government's cooperation from the government side. No doubt nowadays coming corporate section, but in Tripura it's some difficult job. So that give me another thinking that this platform will guide us, not us only for sports faculty, every sports faculty, the one platform, from this platform it will come out a definite guideline how to develop the sports in all aspects. This will be instances for other government also. Because actually, gymnastics, I started 1965. It was very hard. I have tried my level best, though my level best, I may be a talent, but until unless a coach is not that much qualified or dedicated, gymnastics will not come up. Fortunately, we got one most experienced, and he himself was also gymnast. He has given such a methodical and other dedication. That's why we Tripura Gymnastics, whenever we goes to competitions, say in one competition there individual medals 7, 6 apparatus, 1 individual all-around champion, and team champion 8 members. So 8 medal we count 8 medal for the motivation purpose student. 15 medal, out of 15 medal, Tripura owns 14 gold medal. And its credit goes to not to the talent of gymnast, my heart. I would say its total goes to the coach, first coach, and other surrounding our society's motivation, society's affectionate love. I have mentioned, I prepared one concept note, my brief observation and views, where I mentioned especially the Honorable Governor, who is originally Tamil Nadu Governor. He originally belongs to Tripura. When we are just young, they are not only, I just showing example, they given us such affectionate love. That has helped us to go for excellency, performance excellency, that is in the national, in the international. We have 66 till date, 66 national champion and national international medal. And in this achievement recognition, in this excellence, government have recognized us with 6 national highest sports award. We are having 3 Arjun Awardee, 1 Padma Shri, 1 Khel Ratna, and other Dronacharya Awardee. And that achievement, which I was telling you, that we own out of 15, 14 gold medal. For not only 1 or 2, for 18 years that was happening in junior, senior, school medal. So actually what I exactly want to say, this gymnastic, after my gymnastic career, I become coach, and side by side, many people, our Tripura gymnastic is in one center. So many people wanted that this should be decentralized. I have given some plan also, accordingly it has slightly implemented. So we have a definite methodology, and other positive creation there. So during that period, I have seen not that much gymnastical level from the south side. But for the last 10 years, I've shown that south is coming up, especially Telangana is coming up. So far, I have seen record that Telangana now, they have good contribution for Indian gymnastics. Earlier, it was only Tripura and other also, but South is coming up, and that too, the Telangana. They are coming out. They are winning national medals, and one of the girls from this Telangana also represented India in the World Cup, and she won gold medal also in the World Cup. So this is a positive point. So when I received this letter, I have prepared some developmental plan, because if it is finalized here, then gymnastics, so far I told you this, sir, the gymnastics, to start gymnastics is difficult. The talent selection, to grooming them with having all facilities, equipment and coaches facilities. Coaches, it cannot be possible only physical teacher, but only players. Those who are trained, then only it is possible. But I found this atmosphere, this training trends with the Tamil Nadu. Then I thought that let me propose, I have written here that the Telangana nowadays, the way coming up, they will contest, and in India they will go somewhere else. And so far I have seen many training centers, gymnastic training centers here running very nicely. And other side, so far I found, I am really happy and pay my regards. The authority, sir himself is a sports lover, and he is very much interested in sports. And especially when I got introduction, Madam Sonibala Devi, when I talk, she is so interested and so high-level officer. It will be easier for them to develop the gymnastics. I pay my special regards, sir and madam. I personally talked, she was also one of the players in younger age. So these highly authorized governments and others, administrators are involved in that manner, and they are conducting these such types of festival or platform from where the definite some guideline division. Here, Mr. Gopichand, Mr. Our footballer Baichung Sahib, and other great sports personalities are also coming here. It means there will be a definite guideline decision for the development. So on this hope, I came here, and Madam once asked me for my, you also asked me my journey, what actually my achievement. I have given lesser interest, but I have given importance to this development issue, so that here, from here also, with the collaboration of this Northeastern and the government, one platform may be formed and one guideline may be prepared, so that it can follow by the government also. Whenever we submit for the development of submit for the development issue, that government just realize the exactly requirement, then only we can develop. And therefore, this is only my views, or to come over here, and my observations also, that I hope this will be happen from this platform, and especially we gymnastics will get definite advantage from here. This is my expectation. I pay once again my regards, sir, and especially madam, her initiative. This is what, and pay my regards to all, and thank you all.
Thank you very much, sir. I think you've lived a good life and you've done a good job. I hope your message and advice spreads to the rest of the Northeast and the rest of the country, so that your spirit is amplified and continues to live on. I will now go to Indranil, a journalist who's the sports editor of the New Indian Express, to which I also contribute a column, monthly column. And so we are in many ways colleagues, although he's junior. No, I'm not trying to belittle him. We are colleagues. And also, you've heard 8 speeches, and 7, excluding me, and 7 speeches. And also, you've seen sports grow in the Northeast. You made it visible to the rest of the country through your writings. Would you also give an account of your journey?
First of all, I'm really honored to be part of this distinguished guest. I mean, I'm just a commentator, and they're the achievers and they're the players. So, as a commentator, it's been a fascinating journey, especially in sports journalism. But the more fascinating was my journey to Manipur. So, the first time I went was somewhere in 2006 or 7. So, at that time, I think the population was just 15 lakhs, 16 lakhs. And Delhi population was by that time 2 crores. So I did my first little bit of study in 2001 as soon as I joined journalism. And then I found that that Manipur usually finishes in the top 3. And despite its small population. So what is driving that, the spirit in that population, 15 lakh population, and making them become international stars, national stars. So the first time when I went to Imphal, I was just, it was again a Bandh day. In 2006 and 7, it was really very tense time. There were 3 things that was there in Manipur. That was either insurgency, drugs, AIDS. I think that was the highest AIDS population in Manipur at that point of time. So you either, I mean, these 3 things were so common that, people used to try and find a different avenue to shift their energy. So when I landed there, it was a Bandh. So there was Bandh, and when I left, it was Bandh. So in between, I went to Khuman Lampak Stadium for the first time. And that changed my view of that particular state. Khuman Lampak Stadium was built in 1999, and it was 2006-7 at that time. So when I enter, each space, each facility in Khuman Lampak Stadium was being utilized by players. I have not seen any state utilizing all facilities after the national games, but Imphal is the only place where they're utilizing each and every space, including the hockey turf, which was 7 or 8 years old. And by that time, there were at least 3 international players in the national team, and there were half of the women's hockey team from that. So even the AstroTurf was being utilized. So, and then I enter one place, which is boxing, where Sarita also lived. There's a hostel there, and in that hostel, Dinko Singh was the first one, the star to be part of that hostel. And then Sarita and Mary Kom followed. And then there is a pond in front of the hostel where they usually wash clothes. And there is a hall. There is a indoor hall, little dilapidated. It was not like well maintained, but the entire facility was full. So inside the hall, there were at least 4 sports were being played. One weightlifting, one boxing, fencing, and judo. So everything was being utilized, and that was Sai Hostel. And I was like really surprised that people from outside come and stay in mess. 5 students in one room, they have their own kitchen for attending Sai tests. They conduct screening tests. For attending tests, they come from villages, stay in mess, and then they attend the tests, whatever tests they have to face. So that is the spirit. That is the spirit of Imphal. the people are so engaged in sports. So, and sports has given a different life to the people there in Imphal. So, and it was used as a vehicle for, social transformation. So it was not laying them, the youth astray, then it was helping them to come to the mainstream. And Sarita, Dinko, Maricom, and before that Kunjarani Devi. Kunjarani was the pioneer, first World Championship medalist from India. So those small things, after seeing that, what I realized is that sports is a vehicle through which you can transform the society. And this is what Sarita and now Mirabai is doing. So it's inspiring the total youth and bringing them towards sports and making them, sports persons, and they're giving different livelihood or different, ways to channelize their energy. So, and because of Imphal, other states are also getting inspired, like Mizoram in boxing and weightlifting. And in fact, Zoram Thanga was the first from Mizoram to have won a World Cup medal in 1989. So from Imphal, slowly now, Mizoram football and all this started, and Assam, Himadas, and there's a whole bunch of women boxers and weightlifters. And of course, like in Sikkim, Baichung Bhutia has already started a revolution in football. So those are things, but at the same time, there's lack of infrastructure, which I think Telangana can step in. And there's a huge scope for that in collaboration. And you can, like Gopi helping Mizoram. So there's a huge space for collaboration where you can exchange students or maybe the players, where you can utilize the infrastructure which is available in Telangana and vice versa. So I would suggest that this could be the way forward, and the conclave would definitely give us a new avenue for collaboration.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
You gave a very good wrap up. And the picture. Yeah, okay. Mirabai, you have to leave, so we have to say goodbye to you now, and have a nice journey. You have a flight coming up now.
So we have to felicitate her.
Yeah.
We just have to give a token of gratitude to her and send
Yeah,
her
yeah,
up
please
with
go ahead and do that. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt the panel. Mirabai has a flight to catch on. So before we send her, may I call upon the VC and MD of Sports Authority Telangana, Dr. Soni Bala ma'am, to felicitate and give a token of gratitude on behalf of Telangana State in honoring our guest here. And also, may I request Jayesh Ranjan sir to join in presenting the memento to Mira. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Psycho Mirabai Chanu, Padma Shri awardee, weightlifting all the way from Manipur.
So let's continue with what we were doing. In general, you gave a very nice wrap up, and I particularly like the way you talked about the Manipur situation, that it's chaos, complete chaos, buns everywhere, agitations, and amidst that chaos, excellence also.
And I forgot to mention one thing. Yeah. Even if there was chaos, band outside, inside Kuman Lampak Stadium, there was nothing.
Yeah. That's basically the picture you gave us, and it evokes another kind of analogy that, as I was saying in the beginning, that we have certain basic instincts which are very aggressive, very chaotic. It's about how we manage that. If you don't manage that, it can also go wrong. It can also go violent. It can also give rise to deviant behaviors, which all of these are there in the Northeast, and particularly Manipur especially. But in spite of that, you have certain channels where you are able to channelize your energy, and that produces the positive sports person. And here, let me just take one example from literature. Graham Greene has a book called The Third Man, which has also been made into a movie. And there's a very one nice passage quite relevant to this. And this is about two friends. One was a very talented guy. He became a criminal. So this other friend, he came looking for him and found him ultimately. They have a conversation, honest kind of conversation. And the honest friend was asking this criminal friend, why do you do this? You're so talented, you could have made it big anywhere. And this man's answer was actually quite cryptic and also very interesting. He said, you know, in Switzerland, they had 400 years of democracy, perfect order, everything is where it should be. And what did they invent? They invented the cuckoo clock. He says that. And what about Italy? You know, it's chaos everywhere. They have vendetta, fights, and then also clan wars. And what did they produce? They produced a Renaissance. They produced Michelangelo. They produced Leonardo da Vinci. So creativity has to have that energy. You just cannot just fit into a certain structured kind of a environment and then think creativity can come about. So creativity is about managing that chaos. And if we do it well, we can have very, very creative work coming out, sportsmen coming out. And if you don't do it well, it can be complete chaos. We can be reduced to complete chaos, which also, Sarita also hinted, the kind of challenges that she was facing, that it could have been the other way around. It could have been complete chaos. But you emerge out of that chaos, and then you have good sportsperson, good artists, good people in culture, creative people. So I think I will end on this note. I think it was a very meaningful kind of talk. I had a lot to learn from whatever you people said, all the stars said today. And I'm sure the audience will agree with me that this was a fruitful kind of a, instructive kind of a deliverance we had from all the stars. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we give a big round of applause for all the eminent panelists? We have just taken away such wonderful key information, everything about we have to know about spirit of the game connecting Telangana and Northeast. And may I now call upon the VC and MD of Sports Authority of Telangana, Dr. Soni Bala ma'am, onto the stage in presenting mementos to all the dignitaries who have adorned the stage in here. I would also like to request Jayesh Ranjan sir to join hands along with Soni Bala ma'am in presenting the mementos to all the honorable dignitaries, chief guests here. Can we have the festival song of the day, please? May I request the console to play the festival song? Such incredible techno-cultural festival taking place in the state of Telangana, trying to forge the links between all the 8 states of the northeast of India, along with the government of Telangana, the state Telangana. Both northeast of India and Telangana has diverse and strong legacy in the field of sports in all the tracks possible, and it makes perfect sense for all the 8 states in Telangana to come together in forming a powerful alliance in building infrastructure of the sports, thereby laying the strong foundation, identifying the athletes, the talents, the culture, and taking forward the legacy. This panel has strong sports pillar people from both the states and from all the states, which is Northeast and the Telangana. And this panel discussion should lay strong ground on how this partnership can be taken forward. Such incredible time all the audiences along with me are witnessing here, to have such eminent panelists who come with wealth of experience in the sporting industry. Shri Jayesh Ranjan sir, Shri Pu Lalhing Lowa Mar sir, Shri Pullala Gopichan garu, Mr. Baichung Bhutia sir, Ms. Saikhom Mirabai Chanu, Ms. Lashram Sarita Devi, Mr. Mantu Debnath, Mr. Indranil Das, and Mr. Pradeep Panjubam. Yes, this is a perfect moment for a group photo with the sports pillars of 8 states of the Northeast India and the state of Telangana. The future of Indian sports is here. It's happening. Telangana is happening, happening, and happening. And may I request all of you to stand up in the honor of Indian national anthem. May I request all the dignitaries in the audience here to stand up in the honor of Indian national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Jai Hind, Jai Telangana, and Jai to all the 8 states of the northeast of India. May I request Soni Bala ma'am to give us a vote of thanks now. It's not working.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think we are pressed for time. The literature panel discussion has been telling me it's over time we are going. On behalf of the Department of Sports, Government of Telangana, and organizing committee of the Telangana Northeast Connect Festival, I extend my sincere gratitude to all the esteemed panelists of sports panel discussion for such productive, inspiring, thought-provoking session. My heartfelt gratitude goes to all the 72 distinguished delegates from the Northeast India for traveling to Hyderabad and gracing us wholeheartedly. I also thank all the Telangana delegates who are present for the last 2 days and today also. Your participation has enriched this festival and strengthened the spirit of friendship and collaboration that binds our states together. I also thank you all for generously conducting the exciting clinics and enlightening knowledge-sharing sessions in 8 sports disciplines and for the meaningful interactive sessions in sports journalism and sports technology. Your hands-on demonstrations, tactical sessions, and open interactions were amazing and enhanced our understanding of training methods, sports science, culture, and teamwork. I would also like to express my deepest gratitude to our partners, Gopichand Badminton Academy, Baichung Bhutia Football Academy, Pranab Roy Da, President of Vaikuntha Nath Memorial Trust, Tripura, Phulo Jano Athlete Club, Tripura, Cultural Troops of Manipur, Pung Cholong, Folk Artists, Telangana Sports Associations, Telangana players and their parents, and Telangana, all the our sports colleagues, sports enthusiasts who have come here, spectators, and everyone present here. Thank you so much for making this festival a memorable and a meaningful experience. Thank you once again.
Dr. Soni Bala ma'am, the VC and MD of Sports Authority Telangana. Thank you, ma'am. And I'd like to now thank all the dignitaries here, all the guests and eminent panelists. Thank you very much for joining us. Can we all give a big round of applause for the panelists here, please? This session now will be continued by filming panel discussion, requesting everybody to kindly please be seated.